Hello guys. Let's just wait for someone to join. Okay, it's time, so let's get started. Hi everyone. Hi again. Today we are going to make momos, which originated in the Nepal or Northeast Indian region. And they are, as you will see once we go through the ingredients of the recipe, they are kind of a fusion that's reminiscent of Oriental flavors and style with combining Indian style flavors and cuisine. So today we're going to make chicken momos. And a really delicious tomato garlic chutney that goes with it, that's typically served with it. And I'll also show you how you can easily make veg momos with a similar recipe. So obviously I'm going to need Neil's help a little more today because there's rolling involved. So let's get started. So I've taken 1 pound of minced chicken. Or ground chicken. I've cleaned it, washed it, strained it, and I have that. This is what we'll make the filling with. And I'm going to start adding a few ingredients to this. So the first thing that goes in is green onions. So I have about 3 to 4 stalks of green onions that I added to this. I've minced them very finely, so they're very finely chopped. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped cilantro or coriander. It's very interesting that Indian cuisine uses a lot of cilantro, as you all probably already have seen that. And Indo-Chinese or any fusion Oriental, Asian and Indian cooking uses cilantro and green chilies, which are from the Indian cuisine, and then combine it with ingredients like soy sauce that are obviously Oriental in origin. So we had our ground chicken. I've added 3 stalks of finely chopped green onion or scallions and 2 tablespoons of finely chopped cilantro to it. The next thing that I'm going to add is about a teaspoon of soy sauce. I'm using just a regular soy sauce, but if you have dark soy sauce, that's even better. So I have that. The next thing I'm adding is 2 to 3 finely chopped green chilies. So these are your Thai green chilies that are really spicy. So I will leave the quantity up to you. I like my momos really spicy. It's a very popular street food actually these days, even in India, and it is absolutely perfection if you can have this on a rainy day. So I really like it when it's spicy. So I have added 3 finely chopped green chilies, and then here I have about half a tablespoon combined of ginger and garlic, which is again finely minced or ground. So I'd say it's about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic and a little piece of ginger about this big, and it's all crushed together. So I'm going to add that as well. I'm going to mix all of this. It already smells really good. Delicious. And just one last thing that needs to go in this is salt. So I'm just going to add about, say, half a teaspoon of salt. And that's it. The filling is ready. So I'm going to put this aside. You see how simple that was, and it already smells great. So this is our chicken filling. I'm going to set this aside. What I have gone ahead and done as a prep here is I have kneaded a very simple dough with all-purpose flour, salt, and water. So I've taken about 2 cups of all-purpose flour, about a little less than a teaspoon of salt, and about half to 3/4 of water. 3/4 cups of water, and I've kneaded a really soft, loose-ish dough, and this is what we're going to use for the outer coating. The reason why I had to do this ahead of time is you really want the gluten to relax and develop so that it's easy to roll out thin, and it needs to rest for about 20 minutes. So when you're making momos at home, this is a Momo's basic simple dough. So 2 cups of flour, start with 1/2 cup of water, add more as you need, and a little less than a teaspoon of salt. Knead it all together, make a soft dough like that, and let it rest for at least 20 minutes before you're ready to make your momos. And as you saw, the making the filling barely takes any time, so it's very important to make this in advance and keep it. So the next step we're going to start doing is I'm going to have Neil help me roll this out, and I'm going to turn my camera the other way so that you can see what he's doing. So just dust the surface. Also, it's probably one of his first times making momos. So yeah, so there's 2 ways you can make this. Either make little balls and roll out about 4-inch diameter of circles and individually roll out and make your momos. So momos are basically dumplings. Or you can also do what Neil is doing here, which is take a bigger ball of dough, and I mean, it'll take some time to roll it out, but that is fine. After that, it goes fast. So we just need to just cut circles with a cookie cutter or anything that you have available, and then wrap the momos or the dumplings. Also, we are going to steam the momos after they are wrapped and ready. So it doesn't hurt if you have to add, sprinkle more flour. This is a very forgiving recipe. So it is fine as long as you can get to roll it out thin. Everything will be steamed in the end and it should be good. Also, another advantage of using the cookie cutter method is that you don't have to worry about it being a perfect circle. That looks good. You don't need to actually. You can just keep rolling it. Just make sure it's not stuck. That it peels off. Yeah, then it's fine. You don't really have to flip it. Just roll it out thin enough. Okay. Can I check how thin it is now? Oh. Yeah, you want to avoid that, but we can cut around it. That should be fine.
Yeah, thin enough.
Okay. Yeah, so we are just using this container here because it's the perfect size. And let's cut around those areas that...
Yeah.
So it should be about this thickness. I think this is... You might have to roll it out a little bit. It's a little thick. Okay. Let's move this aside. Sorry, so it's a little thick, so he's going to roll it out a little more. That's enough flour, Swapnil. Don't want to overdo it. Okay. We can make that work. So I'm going to bring the filling over. Let me just work it a little bit. Hold it. Yeah.
They don't go like that.
No.
मी करतो ना.
It's maybe we should start over.
I'll do this.
Yeah, okay, start that one. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay, guys, we finally have a circle rolled out here. That's perfect. And that's actually perfect thickness too. So can you just hold it up to the camera and show how thick it is? Okay, so it's about that thick. And that's perfect. So what we're going to do is spoon in a bit, yeah, just like about a teaspoon. Yeah. And you want to make sure that you don't get it on the edges, because if it comes in the way of where you stick it, it will burst open when you steam it. So you press along the edges, and there's many ways you can shape momos, all the ways that basically you can shape your dumplings in. But what Swapnil is doing here is the easiest way. Also, it is one shape where you can get the most filling in. It's not fully sealed, but yeah, you can get the most amount of filling in this shape, and also it's the easiest to rest when you're going to steam it. So I'm going to set it here. Sapnil, will you make a few more ready, and till then I can show them how to make. Okay, so Swapnil is going to roll a few more and make them. Till then, I can show you how I make the veggie, the vegan version of this. So here I have minced veggies. So I have cabbage, purple cabbage, green cabbage, and some carrots. And I have minced it in the food processor. So you have to make sure that whatever you use to chop it or mince it doesn't juice it, that it crisply cuts it. So I've done that, and I've made a really fine mince. My food processor is really good with this kind of stuff. And I had put some salt on it and then squeezed it out dry. So that's the veg mince. And then I have some green onions, and then coriander, the green chillies, everything else that we put in the chicken filling is the same for the veggie filling as well. So you basically mix the veggie filling the same way you did the chicken filling, and then stuff it in the dough just like you do for the chicken momos. So how are we doing? Okay, let me show them one closer one. So here's another momo that he just closed. So we had the circle, we spooned in about a teaspoon of filling on there, and then I'm closing all the edges like you do for an empanada. So we have a half circle, and the easiest shape that you can make for a momo or any dumpling is this one, and then just join the straight edge ends like that. So you make momos like that. They have the most amount of filling inside, and they rest really comfortably when you put them on the steaming sieve. You can use more flour. Okay, so while the momos are happening, I'm going to get my steamer on. So what I've done is I'm using a pot with I already have some hot water in it, and I'm going to start heating it. And I am going to put this sieve on the pot, and I'm going to basically use this as a steamer. And before we place the momos on this, I'm going to grease it a little bit with some oil, just some plain cooking oil. So I have the bottom of this greased, and we can start placing the momos on here. So let me show you how. So that's how I'll start placing them, and then just completely fill it and then put it for steaming. Maybe I'll put the food processor there and start the chutney. So while Swapnil is working on making a few more momos, we can start with the chutney. So this chutney is again a very fusion kind of a recipe. It has Indian ingredients, but the technique itself is not very typical of how most Indian chutneys are made. So another thing I went ahead and got prepped here is I have soaked red chillies. So these are dried whole red chillies in hot water, and I've used about 6 to 8. Again, this can be spicy, so it depends on what spice level you prefer. But I would suggest like start at 4 maybe. So I have used whole dried red chilies, and I've soaked them in hot boiling water for about half an hour. So just before the session, a little before the session started. And they're nice and soft, I can see that. And some of the color is bleached, but that's okay. So I have my chilies. I've just broken them in half and soaked them in water. And I have 3 medium to large tomatoes chopped. They don't have to be finely chopped or anything, just cubed, because we are going to run all of this in the food processor. And then the last ingredient I have for the chutney is 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind the tomato, the garlic and the red chilies all together in my food processor. I'll just switch the camera so they can see. You can see my food processor. So it's a really simple process. Not a lot of fine chopping involved. So it's one of my favorite things to make on a busy day. And I'm going to add the chilies, and I'm going to leave the water behind, because with the tomatoes we'll have enough liquid. If I feel the need to add more water, I can use the water that I have left from the soaked chilies. So again, just 3 ingredients. Why wouldn't this close? Can you check? Oh, okay. Sorry. So yeah, just grind it. there it is, the pureed fresh tomato, soaked dried red chilies and garlic. And now it's just a simple treatment. So I'm going to heat some oil in a flat pan like that. So I'm just going to add some oil. It's about a tablespoon of oil. And then once it heats, I'm going to add the pureed tomato, chilies and garlic to it, and then just cook it off a little bit. Like cook off any water that leaves the tomato. You don't have to cook it for too long, just about like 2 to 3 minutes. Cool. We have almost 5 momos ready. I'm pretty impressed. It's almost his first time making them, so well, it is his first time making them. I mean, he's helped me before with other steps of the way, but not the rolling part. Okay, so the oil is heated. I'm going to go ahead and transfer all of the chutney that we blended. And then just heat it on high flame for 2 to 3 minutes just to evaporate some of the loose water, and this will also help improve the keeping quality, so that it will not be too runny and it will stay good for 2 to 3 days at least in the refrigerator. And I love this chutney. This chutney is great for any other, just like a dip too. It's almost like a marinara sauce, or a quick, spicy, oriental marinara sauce version, if you will. So if you're doing like an Asian style flatbread, you can put this on your pizza or flatbread as an Asian style marinara sauce. How many do you have? Wow. Okay, so while that's heating, Swapnil has 6 momos ready, and our water is already boiled and steaming. So maybe show them the back camera. So we have the water boiling. I'm going to put the sieve on here for steaming and then keep it covered. The momos need to be steamed for around 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how much chicken you filled in it. For veggie momos, 10 to 15 minutes is enough because you're only really worried about getting the outer coating or the dough cooked. With chicken, it's a little more important that you watch time because there's meat inside. And if you've made like really big momos that have a lot of chicken in there, you might have to give it a few minutes extra to make sure that they are cooked through. But I think for the little size that we have made, 15 minutes should be enough. So I've put my timer for 15 minutes. Continue cooking my chutney. Can you get a bowl for the chutney? And that's it. The chutney is ready. So it's a really simple recipe, even for the chutney. This is mainly developed in, like this is mountain food. This is what you will get if you were trekking in northeastern Himalayas or Nepal. And that's it. Your chutney is ready. It's steaming hot. That's how the momos need to be too when you serve them. They go beautifully well with the chutney. What's the time? Do we have time to wait until the momos are out? Oh, we have only 5 more minutes. Okay. So maybe once the momos are out from the steamer, I can send you a picture later that Hoboken Library will post because we have 13 more minutes on the momo steaming. But yeah, that's the chutney. We spoke about the veggie momo filling, so the process is the same. Another thing you could do, obviously I couldn't venture into it today because Neil was helping me with the momo making, but there are tons of different ways to shape these shape the dumplings. What I showed you is one of the easiest folding methods, but it's also very practical in terms of how much filling you can get in there, and the way it's very stable inside the steamer. Like it wouldn't flop down, and it's very reliable. But I highly encourage you to look at different YouTube videos about different methods of folding dumplings and momos. And there's a lot of ways to have fun with this. So I hope you enjoyed today's session, and if you make it, please tag Hoboken Library and me. I would love to see your creations, and I just want to thank Hoboken Library once again for giving me this opportunity, and I'll see you next Wednesday with another yummy Asian dish. Thank you. Bye.